Hi. Welcome to the Completely Unnecessary Podcast. It's spring. It's sprung. It's March 24th, Tuesday, 2020. That's Ian Ferguson.
It's beautiful outside, from what I hear.
It's a beautiful day. Are you social distancing out there? We're going to get through this together on the CU Podcast.
Damn well better be social distancing.
On the podcast, we'll be talking about GameStop's PR disaster the past week as it comes to the public health crisis. We're talking about the Atari VCS update. We'll have an Amico update for you as well, because why won't we? Our buddy Ben Heck back on the show in some capacity. The World Video Game Hall of Fame finals. It's already been a year. I feel like we've done like 5 of these in the podcast already.
It's every year.
And a Patreon poll topic.
Once a year.
Ian.
Yearly.
Real quick.
Yeah. What?
Real quick, at UltimateNintendo.com, you know there's certain NES and Super Nintendo guidebooks. You also know that there's certain not-for-resale Blu-ray. There's also the limited T-shirt.
There's pins.
There's also enamel pins. But the important news is that my warehouse now has a DHL contract, which means I can ship internationally these heavy books through DHL, which means, woo! Cheaper international shipping to Canada and to Europe. So off the top of my head, the average is about $20 cheaper or $25 cheaper. So if going to France or the UK or Great Britain before was like $65-$70, now it's like $40. So that's a really good change. In Scandinavia, we've always had fans of the podcast, Scandinavia. Lots of people show up in the NES Marathon in Scandinavia. That's true. It's a lot cheaper there, too. It's like $25 cheaper somehow. Thanks, DHL, for getting on board with my warehouse. So I'll have those prices updated today. So, tell your friends in Europe. Stop yelling at Pat that the prices are so expensive. I couldn't do anything about it. I'm sorry. This is my way of apologizing and making amends. I wish I had this for the Kickstarter, though, when the book went live. But what are you going to do?
Are you happy about
that, Ian? Yeah.
I'm fucking thrilled. So happy. So happy.
That's why you shaved your beard when you found out.
20. I'm a strange looking little man. I fucking hate having my face shaved. I can't stand it. But hey,
what does Vonnie prefer?
I think there's pluses and minuses to both.
Sure.
She enjoys the softness of my face when I'm shaved.
Sure.
But she likes to have a little bit of beard to tug on. Yeah.
Well, my ex thought I looked like a Greek soccer player when I had my beard. I didn't disagree with her, so she liked that. But yeah, it was too scrunchy and too harsh. I like a man with a
They like the rugged look, but not the rugged feel.
With an easy touch. Remember those like Gillette commercials back in like the late 80s, early 90s?
I do.
So it's like shave and a woman will come touch your face. Well, it kind of is true when you have a girlfriend. They like clean shaven. Sorry, what was I talking about? The books. Yes. UltimateNintendo.com. We also have the not for resale movie, which is doing well. It's also on Amazon and Vimeo in 4K on there. Ian, did you enjoy some Animal Crossing this weekend?
I enjoyed a lot of Animal Crossing this weekend.
You didn't socially isolate when it came to Nintendo Switch.
No, and I haven't played a whole lot of online yet either, just because there's something relaxing to me about Animal Crossing. I like playing the online, but early on when I'm getting my town up and going, I like it's my own little area. I enjoy it. I just like wandering around in peace.
You're isolated in the wilderness.
Yeah, I like that.
Is it the wilderness technically? Yeah, it is.
It is. But online becomes a lot of fun very quickly, going and visiting people. But one of the big things I noticed this weekend, just from looking online and Vonnie's time online, is that the hot item in Animal Crossing is the hot item in the real world currently. Everyone is wearing masks.
You can get masks?
You can get the surgical masks, and people are running around wearing surgical masks all over Animal Crossing.
Art imitating life. I guess, right?
Yeah, but the game is very, very cute. It's a lot of fun. I've been enjoying the crafting, which is very, very simple. But Animal Crossing is all about... It's always been about doing chores and doing multiple steps of things to accomplish an end. And with the crafting, it's so much more. So right now, when you start Animal Crossing New Horizons, on the first day, you land and 2 other animals land, and you all have tents. So there's 3 of you. You can upgrade your tent to a house if you want, et cetera, et cetera. But within a couple of days, Tom Nook tells you that there are other people who want to come live on your island, but they won't live in tents. They require furnished houses. So then you start using the crafting to like...
They're glamping.
Yeah, exactly. So then you have to go and pick out the plots for 3 houses, and then you have to build the furniture for each of the 3 houses on the interior, and then you have to build external stuff.
You got to build your neighbor's houses?
Yeah, you build your neighbor's houses.
What the fuck?
You don't have to, but then you're just never going to get anyone else to move in. So you do everything at your own pace.
Right. You book a vacation through Tom Nook. Then once you're on the island...
I don't want to hear any Tom Nook bullshit.
But he has you do his free labor for him to build the houses for the next guests.
Yeah. Yeah, the nice thing is...
What the hell is that, Tom?
Tom builds you a house and doesn't ask for... Basically, you have to repay Tom if you want more. But he doesn't harass you. There's no monthly bills. There's no interest.
But you got to pay for it in slave labor then.
You don't have to. You can tell him to go get
But there's strong social pressure from Tom.
There is.
There's some social pressure, peer pressure.
Tom Nook is the best landlord there ever will be.
Uh-huh.
He's the only person from the group known as the man that is good. But yes, he utilizes a lot of social pressure.
Tom knows where the bodies are buried on the island.
Tom absolutely knows where the bodies are buried in the island. What I like about Tom's... so Resident Services is where Tom is currently hanging out in New Horizons. What I love about it is when you walk in, Tom's standing back there. He's fat. Tom looks like he's put on some weight.
He's put on some weight?
Tom looks like he's put on some weight. He has a little putting green next to him, and he sits there with a can in his hand all day that I'm sure they will tell you is juice or coffee or something, but it honestly looks like...
In his office, he's just sitting there relaxing?
It honestly just looks like Tom sitting there next to a putting green all day with a can of beer in his hand. It's great. I love him.
That's how they start the game off?
Well, that's where he hangs out. Yeah, that's basically how it starts out.
When I Google...
You should just get it. It's a game that you have to play. Ideally, you only need to, like, your first few days playing Animal Crossing can be very intensive, but then you turn it on for 30 minutes a day afterwards.
It's like an exercise session.
I feel like
the first few times is going to hurt your ass, but you'll get used to it.
But then you get into a groove. Be happy for 30 minutes a day, Patrick.
Wow, that's a loaded statement, opinion?
It's a statement.
It's reminding me of your article, Wired statement about I don't know if he ever has fun. He's got flashbacks to that.
I sometimes wonder that.
Wow. Okay. You don't think I have fun dealing with your jabs at me and parrying?
No, I don't.
Well, all right. Well, I won't say that. All right. So I googled Tom Nook landlord. People also ask, is Tom Nook a capitalist? The answer, Tom Nook is a capitalist bastard. That's what it says. Is he a capitalist bastard? Is he? Growing up,
I think...
Nothing wrong with owning a business, having a vacation.
When we were young, I think we looked at Tom Nook, as I said, a visible member of the group known as the man. And we were like, fuck this guy. But as you get older and into your 30s, you realize just how reasonable Tom Nook is.
Well, someone has to take on this business venture, and do these things, right? Someone has to have responsibility.
Nook is a real reasonable man.
He's as most reasonable as you're going to get for capitalism.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
0% loans that you don't have to repay.
Yeah, he's not capitalist because things that are in place to make capitalism work, like interest rates, are not in.
He's not charging you rent on the island or anything.
No, I think to him it's just a game.
It's something to do.
Wait a minute, it's a game.
It's a game for him.
That's it. Yes,
you're all playing Tom Nook's game.
We're all literally. Yes.
Tom Nook is like created the simulation for you to go in, and he probably has spy cameras on the palm trees and on the, he's seeing what you do. Ooh, I'm getting kind of weirded out now by this experience. Tom Nook sees and hears all.
Yeah, I love Tom.
Can Tom Nook toss someone off the island if they misbehave? Does he have the authority? Who has the authority on your island? Do you have like little like Survivor little torch meetings? No, like town meetings.
When people want to leave, you can be like, yeah, good, get out of here, or you can be like, no, please stay. and sometimes they'll stay, sometimes they won't stay.
But if someone does something like, say they start like rearranging, we talked about this, they start rearranging your front lawn. If you don't want them to, you can't say stop it.
Well, you could. I mean, the animals aren't going to do that. Someone like
the people will.
Oh, people will. Yeah, you can kick them off your island.
You can.
Yes, I'm almost positive you can just boot them.
You can just boot them.
You can also password lock it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So even if a human player misbehaves, you can get rid of them.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't have to go through Tom. Tom doesn't have some muscle that comes on. That'd be funny if Tom has some muscle.
No.
He's got some two like big bear guys sitting next to him.
Tom has two nephews, Timmy and Tommy.
Okay.
And they run Nook's Cranny.
His nephew's also named Tom?
Tommy.
My favorite name.
Mine too, yeah. Anyways, this is a good
coming up with the console idea, Animal Crossing. All right, so you're enjoying it so far, though. I saw online there was something interesting where you could convert a picture into like pixels for your design for like your T-shirts or wall hangings.
Yeah, for wall hangings, T-shirts, yeah.
Nintendo designed that. You can do that. Mm-hmm. There's a QR code, and you can just put it into your game.
Yep.
What a fantastic idea.
That's always been a big part of Animal Crossing, even on the first GameCube one. Granted, you had to do it in like a Mario Paint style. It was a pain in the ass to
do it pixel by pixel?
Yeah, but you could.
Shit.
Yeah.
Well, this is, we didn't have the smartphones 15 years ago to do this. Even 10 years ago, it was kind of a new technology there. Speaking of console technology and phones anyway. Did you see the Sea of Stars RPG Kickstarter?
I did. I
was going to say this. This isn't a full topic on this. We're just talking about. It looks beautiful. It's a JRPG style. It's being done by is it a Sabotage Studio, and they already hit their goal. A lot of times they hit. In a week it's gone $224,000. Their goal was $92,000. A retro-inspired turn-based RPG. It looks beautiful. These are really the only types of RPGs I consider ever playing are ones that are kind of like Chrono Trigger-esque looking ones, where you can walk around, you bump into characters, and you fight. These are the type of ones I like. Well, this one looks more like you could... Okay.
Classic JRPGs. That's what you're into.
Yes. That's about what I get. I don't like Final Fantasy style.
I mean, Final Fantasy is this.
No, but I mean, the newer ones. I mean, I like the pixel 16-bit style here. That or Dragon War. It's something simple. But this looks gorgeous. It's got the sort of like I want to say faux 16-bit style because it's a little more advanced with the shading and everything, but that's the style everyone likes now. That's the retro style.
That's what they did. They made The Messenger, which was the 2D platformer that was really, really good.
Good folks.
On the Switch earlier this year. I think it's probably on other systems now, too.
Oh, Messenger. Yeah, Messenger came out last year, though. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They gave me a download code of that. It was nice. Same people. Okay, good people then. Good for them. So check it out. It's Sea of Stars. Not a bad name either for a game. Retro-inspired turn-based RPG there. And, we're all dealing with the certain public health crisis in a different ways. Entertainment has been largely shut down. The Olympics is going to be postponed probably till next year. That's probably the proper thing to do. Sure. So they're going to do it, but you're just going to get it a year later. That's all there because, Canada said they're pulling out their athletes. I think Australia did, and I think the U.S. even said, I think we're pulling out our athletes. So you can't put it on if you want to at that point. So a cool thing happened. NASCAR did an event, iRacing Pro Invitational Series, and they actually broadcast it and produced it like a real televised racing event,
right? With
the same sort of announcements and I would say pre-game, pre-race setup and post games. Is my link actually working to that?
Nope. Yep. There it is.
They changed the link. So when you talk about video games and esports and real sports, there's not much that you could do a one-to-one comparison in terms of, if you're playing Madden, you're not experiencing football really at all. Same with baseball. There's really not much. Save for racing, that's about it, really. So these setups they had they had the real race drivers set up in their in rigs, like big like they have like the steering column, they have the whole console. They have like a part of a roll cage. They're sitting down. They're strapped in, and they're racing. And they had real racers warming up and then racing and then going through it and doing their pit stops. And the only thing that wasn't realistic, they said, I think that you can reset your damage twice. Because obviously, if you're racing in a video game, you're not carrying as much, and they were slamming into each other more than. So, but it sounds like it went off pretty well. From what I read about, they had a crash, and the graphics look like, if you're far away, it's like, oh, this could like pass for like a real racing
It looks
experience.
pretty decent, yeah.
So yeah, Fox is getting into this now, and it's a great idea. I saw an article mentioning that IndyCar is going to try this as well, and also including not just real race car drivers, but there's actually people that compete in this that aren't real race drivers. So doing a combination of them. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Obviously, you probably have more of an advantage if you're if you play the game for real. But I consider a real race driver
It's all
probably.
about the game and how you play it. It's all about control.
Well, the race car drivers should be able to be decent at this if it's a one-to-one, sort of analog.
Right.
So, did you see any clips from? I saw a few clips. It looked fun.
No, but I have seen the iRacing stuff before.
You have?
And it's fairly impressive. It's interesting.
They line them up and they get in the cars.
Yep. The setups are all very high tech.
Authentic. They got the same little smallish steering wheels. I always like how small the wheels are when you see them race. I don't know these big wheels are like.
Right. Yeah.
So they can do it like one hand.
Yeah. Not because I'm even interested in it, but I was looking into like the setups one day, and they're like very, very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
But very cool.
Jeff Gordon, who's a Fox Sports 1 analyst and 4-time NASCAR Cup champion, said, "Where I'm blown away right now is when I look at the steering from Chase Elliott and I hear the throttle. It is so realistic. When I run a race at Homestead, that's exactly what it felt like." So they got the feedback down. It sounds like
Right.
Probably not in terms of the crashing. I don't think they're not going to jostle you all around.
No,
but at least like
just
you're
an
feeling,
ejection seat that launches you out. It's like boing,
it rolls you.
Yeah.
Add some fire in there, like virtual reality there. And then it actually was an exciting finish. If you see the clips, it was like bumper to like neck and neck finish at the end there. So you got they're making do. We got to make do the next 2, maybe 3 months at least. We got to make do.
The Marble Olympics are gonna fucking go off this year.
Did you see that on? They had that on the Ocho.
I've seen it before, but I haven't. I didn't see it on actual TV. You were telling me it was on there, but I know it's been popping up a lot online.
What is it called? Is it Jabel's? What is the name of the marble company? It's like it starts with a J. That's who put it on.
Yeah, I'm not certain.
And they did Marble Olympics with like they did like regular courses. They did these Lego things, and they had teams.
Yep.
They had team names for like 16 teams, and they had an opening and closing ceremonies with marbles.
It's Gel's Marble Runs is that's the website. They're the one who does Marble League.
Okay, it's Marble League.
There's Marble League and Marble Olympics. So yeah, but Marble League I think is the big one, and that's Gel's Marble Runs. That's a YouTube video that puts together all those crazy like marble run videos, and now they've turned it into a sport.
so ESPN 2 became the Ocho on Sunday. If you know what the Ocho is, people out there, it goes back to a Dodgeball Underdog Story movie from 2004 when they broadcasted from ESPN 8 the Ocho, which is a play on, at that point in time, they had ESPN 3, which I think they changed to ESPN News or University. So they're making fun of the fact there's multiple ESPN, so they called it the Ocho, and they described it like, well, we're the Ocho, then they have all these wacky sports you would never see. So now ESPN every year on August 8th does the Ocho the full day, and they'll do stuff like they'll do axe throwing, they'll do dodgeball, they'll do the tag thing I told Ian about. They'll do this. They have this thing they play in, I think it's like in the Middle East, where it's like one guy trying to get away from 3 guys who are trying to tackle him, but you have to be a certain distance. There's a lot of weird sports out there that we don't know about. There's the volleyball where you only can use your feet, which I think was in the Olympics once. It's basically like a kicking volleyball game.
Sounds fucking miserable.
It's athletic as hell. These guys are doing these like.
I mean, that's what kicks. I mean. Like it sounds like miserable to try to play.
Oh, you wouldn't be able to play it. But anyway, so they did the Ocho, and they had cherry pit spitting, and ESPN actually goes out and films these things. Like ESPN does all these little things too. Like these are fully produced shows.
Yeah.
So they had slippery stairs, where you put on a full bodysuit and you have the what do they call them? They have 2 girls on top. It's all the college age people. It's a college, and they tour it, and they have this slime. They call them like the slime girls. They slime the stairs, and you got to try to get up the stairs without slipping. It's called slippery stairs. It was actually very engrossing to watch that.
Oh, I'm sure.
And then they had the dodgeball was great. USA came back and won against Canos. Improbable their comeback. It was great. And then the other one they had was dodgeball juggling, where you have a guy juggling on each team, and the objective is to knock one out of his hands, the other 5 or 6 people are either blocking or throwing at the other juggler. It's very, very interesting. Very interesting. Not exactly organized, but you had Penn Jillette as one of the commentators,
because the announcers,
because he started as a juggler there. So anyway, the Ocho. So they got to do the Ocho every Sunday now because there's no new sports. ESPN is like scratching and clawing at things to talk about, like NFL trades and drafts coming up, but there's nothing else going on with sports.
I can't imagine how dry and boring ESPN is.
They've been showing old 10-year-old NCAA games. Like here's Steph Curry when he was 19, looked like he was 12 because he looks like 10 years younger. They're showing stuff like that there. But yeah, check out the Ocho. It's fun. Arm wrestling they have. Dodgeball is very fun to watch. Actually, when you watch dodgeball.
Oh yeah,
that should be an Olympic sport. I'm thinking dodgeball. We can do that. But of course, we actually have to field teams, and it's funny when you see the athletes of some of these sports. You're like, well, it works for them, I guess. But anyway,
what the fuck are you saying there?
Because the real athletes go to like the sports that make money, and it trickles down from there. Once you get down to the lower end sports,
maybe they're just doing what they love, man.
Yes, I love dodgeball too. But there was a conversation.
So go be a dodgeballer.
Remember the handball thing we talked about?
Go dodge balls.
When I brought up the handball thing, the reason it came to my mind when we talked about it as well as about sports that aren't video games is because you had NFL players come out publicly and say, this is a joke. If we had a couple NFL guys in there, we would dominate this league. I'm not so sure about that, but with other sports, you definitely would. You definitely would. If we had athletes transposed to other sports, they probably would.
Handball is my favorite LSD sport.
There's a reason we can't field a decent fucking soccer team to save our lives. Because all those athletes go and play football and basketball and hockey and other sports that make them money. So I'm not saying soccer players aren't talented. They are. But imagine if you got LeBron James playing soccer, an athlete like that. It'd be insane. These guys change sports and learn how to play. That's all I'm saying. That's all.
All right.
I'm not downplaying soccer. I'm just saying our best athletes aren't necessarily playing soccer. That's why we can't win a fucking World Cup. Sorry, I'm getting pissed that we can't field a soccer team. We're not even going to be in the World Cup. The next one.
No.
I get up for the World Cup. I use my Blue Chew tablets for the World Cup.
All right. You get fucking stony for the World Cup?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, good.
You don't get up and watch those games like 2 a.m?
Oh no, I love doing it. It's a great excuse to wake up really, really early, drink, and eat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Just yell at the TV.
So anyway,
are we sliding into the
We're sliding in. We had our Blue Chew. We're sliding into the first topic.
We're sliding into the normal podcast zone.
BlueChew.com. Use promo code CU Podcast.